In Redpaw's mind, Crowfeather was almost as bad as Bartram. But at least Bartram, for all his annoying chatter and boast, was just some stray cat who had wandered into camp. Redpaw didn't like Bartram either, but at least he wasn't a traitor. And although the way Bartram trailed after Redpaw's sister, Robinpaw, like an annoying flea who just disappears into thin air, darn it! And then you got to go on a whole patrol because of the weird dog scent, Beakit continued, his eyes narrowing to slits as a big plot secret has just been revealed. Shh, let's not have the baby music play while I'm trying to record, you guys. Let's stop that nonsense. Also, stop freezing! Move, kitties, move! Yes, yes. Briarstock laughed as he flexed his legs, a rueful smile on his voice. I swear, Redpaw, running into you is like running into a tree. Let's not give that away again. Yes, yes. Briarstock laughed as he flexed his legs, a rueful. Ah, yes, just the cat I wanted to see. Briarstock chuckled as Oakglade, Redpaw's older brother and a full warrior of Moss Clan, walked into the training grounds towards the two cats, his tail held high and friendly behind him. Oakglade, I was hoping to see you. I was just telling Redpaw that he still has some work to do before he can become a warrior. He's still very stiff in his movements during a hunt or a fight. You, though, now you know how to move like a proper warrior. Light on your paws and fast with your movements. Do you have some time to show Redpaw how it's done? Redpaw, for the record, that's not how it's done. In front of them, Oakglade flinched, stumbling over his own paws so suddenly he tripped and nearly fell into the dirt. Briarstock let out a meow of concern, and Redpaw blinked in surprise, startled to see the usually oh-so-graceful warrior trip over his own paws. Redpaw found himself smirking with satisfaction before he realized what? No, I'm all right. Oakglade shook his head and glanced over at Redpaw, his eyes blurry with confusion, then glanced black. And besides... Honeywish's voice was so soft, it took Dogaze a full moment to realize her friend was speaking, hardly loud enough to be heard over the murmur of the orange leaf-fall leaves around them. Dogaze felt her fur prickle with foreboding as she studied the honey-colored cat beside her. Honeywish's eyes were locked into this distance. I should have written this better. Are you sure they're ready to fish, Branch Star? Sea Whisper meowed, her voice so soft it was almost difficult to hear above the waves. She, too, was a cat carrying a shadow across her shoulders of late, but she always roused herself when the care of her kits was questioned. There have been more deathfish and jellies in the water lately. When the water carries these cold currents, sometimes why do it Branch Star? Branch Star. Man, that's hard. The ch and the s rolling together is very tricky for me, but we can do it together, Sea Whisper. Are you sure they are ready to fish, Branch Star? Branch Star? Branch Star? Branch Star? Branch Star? Branch Star. Ooh, that's like a hard one. Ugh. Could he have been any more obvious that he's mad I didn't fill the fishing quota yesterday? Wildfang hissed and threw herself onto her side in the sand, irritatedly batting at some of the seagrass that grew in a clump nearby. Oh no, I was doing so good. How dare you, Kristen? How dare you? He'd tell you to adapt. Stonepool, Wildfang's brother, murmured softly. Although he flicked an ear towards his sister, his eyes were unfocused, staring into the distance as though distracted by something far away. A good Branch Clan cat adapts to fill the role needed. That's how we survive. Stonepool, between the fleas and you're like zipping around the place and sticking your tongue out, that was not the scene I needed. Are you afraid? Bearglow purred, his voice full of warmth, and something Moonpaw felt uncomfortably was like satisfaction. There, Moonpaw. You should be afraid. Some of the things we talk about are very dangerous, deadly, or worse than deadly, after all. But give it time. In time, I will teach you the importance of using even fear as a tool. You must use all the resources available to you to get what you want, after all. Bearglow, that was kind of too playful. We've got to redo it. Come on. Nope, don't you give me that look, Bearglow. Come on. You've got a lot to teach her. So it's time? Beakit meowed, his voice nearly breathless with excitement. As usual, B-Kit could hardly sit still, though, to his credit, he was trying, and wiggled restlessly in front of Tommy, his eyes and tail darting. I'm gonna be happy when those kits are born, or at least I can reveal whose kits they are. The big red spotted mushroom, the purple mushroom with fishy smell, the white mushroom that smells like bone, the orange mushrooms that look like honey and they grow in little clusters, and what if we promise not to touch a single mushroom out there, or a single snake, or a single hole, no matter how good it smells, and... B-Kit gasped as he ran out of breath. It's so hard to get through those mushrooms so fast, and then I ruined it. Oh well. Dawnstep hesitated for a moment, torn between fear, fury, and a quiet pity. Finally, she sighed and relaxed her body, her fur settling. Don't be stupid, Quail-Eye. If StarClan was going to punish us, they would probably do that, Dawnstep. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's a pretty good job there. Pretty good job. A+. The she-cat huffed softly and patted away, relief making her tail twitch as she put distance between herself and Quail-Eye. In the shadows, Quail-Eye considered to sit... Considered? No. Still, he isn't as little as he used to be, and even Bearglow said that he'll get stronger as he gets older. It isn't fair that... Enough! Otterslip snapped, her eyes flashing with pain, and her voice edged with fear. Coralkit, you are not behaving today. You... Oh! Otterslip! Seriously! We didn't need that little addition from your misbehaving daughter, sort of a disciplinary moment. Thank you very much, ma'am. Coralkit, her bravery used up, wilted in front of her mother. Otterslip never snapped at her kits, and was usually very patient, even with Coralkit's arguing. But clearly, today there was no talking to her mother. With a sigh, the queen leaned forward and tried to give her daughter a lick on the head. But Coralkit Why? So close, and I'm only halfway there. Hey, Bumblecit! B-Kit giggled and pulled his head back into the bushes. There was a sudden rustle. Oh my gosh. Slate! Why are you at the fall festival? Why were you just dressed up in that outfit again? Why were you running the fall festival booth? Is this a kissing booth? Slate, is this a kissing booth? I don't think this is a kissing booth, but why were you running it? I don't understand. You're a stone. You're a stone spirit. You catch fish and algae and grow moss in your spare time. You don't come and serve curly fries and whatever else the heck they serve at these places. That looks like donuts, maybe apple cider, some smiling pumpkins. Slate, you, just like Willow, need to know your place in life, and this is not it. I still don't know if I made the right decision, Lionstar. Crowfeather shook his head as he turned to his friend, doubt clouding his eyes. But I felt like I was losing a grip on myself, on who I was. Branch Star kept saying that a cat should learn to adapt and change who they are, and I tried. Or at least, I think I tried. Dang it, you two! I need that icon not to be in the shot. Let's try again. Lionstar sighed, nodding his head gently. Is it the kits thing, Crowfeather? You know how happy we are to have you back in Moss Clan. But, well, I can understand if that is where your heart really is. No, Crowfeather laughed softly under his breath, his tail sagging behind him. Don't get me wrong, I love it here. I still love Sea Whisper, if I'm honest with myself. But I suppose that is what this is all about. Being honest with myself. Staying there, no matter how hard I tried, it wasn't me. Loving them wasn't enough to help me change what was... You know what? We're going to try again, because your thingy keeps showing, and your voices sounded exactly the same, and I can't hire voice actors, because that's not the way these episodes work. And let's begin again, boys. Yes, I think we'd all like to know. Both Moss Clan cats jumped at the sound of Branch Star's sleek voice, and a moment later, the Baloney, Broccoli, Branch Clan. Slate, buddy, why? Every time I load the game now, you're here again, with your pumpkin pie on your head, and are you lonely? Is that what it is? You have to stay with your cats. You're a stone slate. You don't have a choice in the matter. You have a perfectly fine beach. Go home. Go home, Slate. In fact, if she was honest with herself, the nursery they found themselves in was downright beautiful. How am I supposed to keep a straight face when there's such a deer bounding through? That would have been perfect. That would have been gorgeous if I could have kept a straight face and been like, it's beautiful, look, there's bounding deer. But instead, the deer had to show up, and I couldn't say soft whispering bushes. I had to burst out laughing. Oh my gosh. Minnow Kit sighed and glanced at her litter and clanmates. All of them were exhausted and had been catching small snatches of sleep, but were still wobbly and heavy on their paws. Despite her nerves, Minnow Kit had to admit she too was exhausted. Too exhausted to try to pester the nursery queens or comfort the... come on! Everybody's tails froze. Petalstar watched the new kits play in her clan's nursery, except then they ran away, and now we're not able to play with them. Ah, Blossom, at least you stayed. What a good little girl you are. But of course, that just meant it was only a matter of time before the kits started asking questions, getting under paw, and circling the very empty prey pile for something to fill their stomachs. Jasper Gaze sighed and licked his chest suddenly, trying to settle himself before approaching his clan leader. He was hesitant to draw Petalstar out of her happiness, but Jasper Gaze flinched as his leader's gaze suddenly went icy, her eyes flashing dangerously. Yet it happened so fast. Before he could react, Petalstar's eyes softened again, and she turned her head towards the... not towards the side, to the side.
I'm telling you, I don't know where they are.
Crowfeather's voice cracked as the fear and grief threatened to choke all the breath from his body. How could this be happening? StarClan, help him. Let this be a terrible dream he would wake up from. A nightmare. Lionstar, what the heck? What was that for?